Honestly, why is AC not free? Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today I want to talk about surviving the heat this summer, but specifically if you live in a place like Washington State that does not really have AC, because for most of the year it's pretty dang cold here. But for like a good 2 months in the summer, it gets really, really hot and we're not equipped to deal with the heat like at all. And so we all just suffer and die. Well, I thought, why don't we just suffer together and I tell you some of my favorite tips and tricks to get through the no AC heat waves. Currently, I am in my hometown of Gig Harbor, Washington, and it is 88 degrees and climbing. The height of today is supposed to be 92 degrees and there's even an excessive heat warning because it's a bit excessive. Now, I'm sure if you live in a hotter climate, like, I don't know, California or Arizona or some really hot state, you'd be like, okay, chill out, like it's not that big of a deal. But when I tell you, us Washingtonians are not used to this sort of thing and we're just not equipped to deal with it. Like I said, pretty much no houses here have AC. Most of the houses have very heavy insulation to keep us warm during the winter, and it sucks. So let's get into the different things that I do to avoid death during the heat wave. Okay, so I feel like the first really important thing is to take lots of showers, but specifically cold showers. Obviously, during most of the year, a cold shower sounds horrible, but when it's this hot out, nothing makes me feel better quite like a cold shower. Like, I'm talking, I want 0 heat in that water. I'm not talking lukewarm water. I'm talking cold water. You want to turn that dial all the way to cold. And then after you take your cold shower, you're going to want to put on as little clothing as society will let you. I'm talking tiny little tank tops, bralettes, tiny little shorts, no socks and shoes, only sandals. We want as minimal clothing as on our body as possible. Probably my biggest lifesaver during these heat waves is ice packs, and something I feel like not a lot of people would think to do is just have a rotation of ice packs ready to go in your freezer that you can have with you at all times, so you can like literally just be putting the ice pack all over your body to cool yourself down and to bring down your body temperature, especially at night. I always, during these heat waves, will go to bed with an ice pack with me, and while I'm like, you know, watching YouTube or something, like while I'm getting ready to go to sleep, I'm moving the ice pack throughout my body to cool myself down. Specifically, your face, your neck, hands, and feet are like where a lot of, I feel like, the heat radiates from, and taking an ice pack to those areas, like, it really helps. And it's something I feel like not a lot of people would think to do. So I have a rotation of like 2 or so ice packs in the freezer ready to go at all times so that I can always have one with me. A lot of this stuff seems like common sense, but they're very helpful. Similar idea to the ice packs, but a little more DIY. I saw this on TikTok like last year, I think, where people were taking paper towels and wetting them with cold water and then freezing them in the freezer so that you can use them to cool down your pets, and they're really good for like draping over your pets and cooling down their body temperature. But you could always use them for yourself too if like you don't have good ice packs or something. And yeah, they work really well. Like, they will freeze a good amount in just like 15 minutes, but you can also leave them in there longer. A little hack there, a little life hack. And of course, you're always gonna wanna have as many fans as humanly possible going at all times to circulate the air in your house or in your bedroom. Now let's talk about your activities throughout the day. Now, I kind of like the idea of laying around and doing nothing and using up as little energy as possible, but of course, it's also good to go swimming. Yesterday, me, my dad, and my brother went to a beach called Kopachuk Beach, and I wanted to just swim and relax in the water, but of course, my dad and my brother, the adventurous types that they are, were like, no, let's go kayak and paddleboard across the water to this island called Dead Man's Island, which is like fun and all, but also, again, I think you should be using up the least amount of energy as possible, but as long as you're in the water, that's gonna feel good. I don't know about anybody else, but when it's really hot out, I like really lose my appetite pretty big. I don't eat as much, which is not good. It's partially because I don't want to eat anything hot. So I've found that it's really good to like try and find cold foods or cold snacks. So like last night I had some chicken Caesar salad wraps. That's really good. Like salad in general is kind of appetizing because it's crisp and cold and light. The thing is like cold cut sandwiches, like a Subway sandwich, be good. And then maybe like cold pizza or cold pasta. Another go-to snack of mine when it's really hot out is an apple because again, it's nice and crisp and cool and hydrating and it's really easy to eat and prepare. My favorite apple is a Fuji apple, so that would be my recommendation. And then of course, you gotta have all the cold drinks. Obviously, hydrate or dehydrate, you gotta drink some water. I'm really bad at that, but you should have your water bottle filled up with ice cold water at all times. But also, of course, get your Starbucks, get your smoothies, get all those cold drinks, get your ice cream, because it not only is going to cool you down, but it's also going to make you feel better. And that's what this time is all about, trying to find joy while you're miserable. And lastly, I think my biggest tip for when these heat waves come in and you live in a state like Washington where you have no AC and you can't really escape the heat too well, is to just give yourself some slack and let yourself relax guilt-free. You know, if you have big work things you need to do or things you need to do around the house, just don't get down on yourself too much for not getting as much stuff done, because it's really hard to get stuff done when you're really hot. But you just kind of have to give yourself some slack and understand that you're not under the same circumstances that you would be normally. In my personal opinion, I think that the temperature should never exceed 75 degrees and for the most part of the year stay below 70 degrees because I personally just hate the heat. I think it's horrible and draining and horrible and makes me feel awful and I hate it. So if you're like me, I hope these tips and tricks helped you out a little bit and give you some ideas for some stuff to do while you're suffering during this heat. Next week, I'm gonna have a really fun vlog for you guys. Me and my family are going to Silverwood, which is an amusement park in Idaho. So I'll have a fun amusement park road trip vlog for you to watch. So look out for that next Monday and have a good summer. Bye!